few days ago, scientists discovered potential many Dyson spheres around some stars.
Really?
Yeah.
So let's define Dyson sphere for everybody who doesn't know, including me.
So, sorry, I have a mint in my mouth. Basically, don't think of the company Dyson, who make really shitty vacuums but overcharge you for them. Basically, a Dyson sphere is a mega structure that is built around a star to harness every bit of its energy.
So when you say built,
built like mega structure,
but constructed,
like
and they just found them. They already built.
So there are many different types of the term Dyson sphere was coined by a guy whose last name was Dyson.
Cheap. I'm going to name this after me.
Everybody names them after themselves.
I know, but it's like once in a while. It's like show some humility, you know? Just once in a while.
So I'm going to name it Kevin. Why? I don't know. I like the name.
Kevin's a good name.
Kevin's a good name. Kevin sphere.
Yeah, exactly. I'd at least appreciate that.
But basically, it's like, think of just giant solar panels in a case around the sun. And it harnesses every single bit of the energy of the sun, and nothing is wasted. And it basically can propel. They're only built by type 2 civilization, type 1 civilizations. So,
okay.
If you don't know the types of civilizations, we are a type 0. So, we are a civilization, but we have not harnessed. Once you're able to fully harness the power of your host star, and not waste any energy from it, harness all of it, you're able to then travel outside of your home planet and colonize other areas of your solar system.
We're getting there.
That is considered a type 1.
We're figuring that out. We're getting closer.
We're considered a 0.25 civilization.
Dang, we got 0.75 to go.
Yeah, it goes up to type 7, which is scary. And it used to go up to 5. I forget the name of the scientist who coined the term, but basically, if you get to a civilization that's so far advanced, we don't even know they're here. It's like the ant. Do you pay attention to the ant on the sidewalk kind of thing? They're so beyond us that they don't even care about us kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a topic for another time. But basically, the way that these Dyson spheres work is you can completely encapsulate it, or they have ribbons of different strands around the sun, or different floating panels, and basically they are. The way it would work is you would still see the glow of the sun, but it would be only infrared. And they found a lot of evidence that there is stars there, but they are being blocked by something. But they're still emitting infrared light. And so I was like, okay, is this I saw an NBC news thing about it. I was like, okay, is this getting a little overblown, or maybe the researchers found these new types of things, but they want people to notice it, so they kind of spice it up to kind of get people's attention, which. I then watched a Neil deGrasse Tyson. I mean, say what you want about him. I watched he responded and was like, so he's like, regardless of whether or not these are Dyson spheres, he kind of gives a brief demonstration of what they are. They're very science fiction. Mm-hmm. But he's like, so they've always been hypothesized. And he's like, and these could be a number of things. He's like, but it could be just these stars are a lot newer. They're a lot of newer stars as they're forming, emit infrared light, or as they're dying, they kind of do that. Or there's other objects passing in front of the James Webb. The James Webb telescope is just really throwing things for a loop lately.
Oh, yeah.
Because it discovered it. And so they're thinking that maybe there's dust or something else just kind of gets in the way sometimes. It's a lot of space. Stuff can get in the way.
Oh, I mean, sure. Stuff's just floating around all over the place in space, right?
Exactly. There's a lot of empty space, but there's also just stuff.
There's nobody running around cleaning. We gotta catch all this stuff. It's floating around out here, you know? Yeah. Space garbage men don't exist. Well, Type 7 civilization you could have a space trash man, you know?
Maybe we're the trash.
Oh no!
I mean,
that's not good.
I mean,
that's War of the Worlds type stuff. Basically, if War of the Worlds was just time to take out the trash, weekly chores, and they just came to our planet and just start zapping people.
Zap, zap, zap.
Man,
I'd go out open arms, be like, "Take me, I'm done. Ascend me."
Yeah.
And so they zap you, and then you just get recycled.
And you get it recycled, and then they come back and do it again.
They do trash and recycling.
It's full space waste management.
Yeah.
That's actually so good. I don't think we can top that. We got to end it there.
Our souls are 100% recycled humans.
Yeah. Wow.
We are fully carbon neutral.
we could get so much like seed money for a company for recycling souls.
Yeah.
We don't have to prove it. We don't have to prove anything, but as long as we use those buzzwords, it's net zero, it's innovative, disruptive technology. Like, dude, we're in a $1 billion company immediately.
Scientology was onto something. The Sea Org, when you sign eternity-long contracts,
yep.
Maybe they knew.
Maybe they knew.
They knew that they would come back.
Maybe they knew, and that their resident reptilian, who is their
L. Ron Hubbard.
No, the
the new guy?
No, the guy that's like, yeah, it's like Xenu or something. Like,
oh, Xanadu.
Xanadu, yeah, he's a reptilian, I'm assuming.
Xanadu is the race
described.
of the aliens.
Is it? I thought it was like one guy, and he came out of a volcano and was like, L. Ron Hubbard, I choose you.
I don't know.
Pokeball.
I don't know. A Pokeball. Dun, 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 dun. Use Hyper Beam.
Yeah, use L. Ron Hubbard.
Use psychological manipulation.
Yeah. Use books.
Use Cut Family Ties.
Yeah.
That'll be $5,000.
Yeah, use isolation and extortion. Critical hit.
Guilt.
I don't even know if we've done a Scientology episode yet.
I'm not touching that. Everybody knows.
Yeah, everybody knows. There's so many people who talk about it now.
Sorry, last side note before I introduce the podcast. My sister was watching she was watching TV at like a bar, so like real live TV, which is shocking nowadays, like actual live TV. But she saw a Scientology commercial, like advertising it, and she took a step back and was like, "What?" She was like, so because outside of Scientology, if you're not a Scientologist, when you hear that word, you go, "Oh, those crazy people." Like,
yeah,
I feel like that's like the norm. When you hear the word Scientology, you go, "Oh, that's that crazy religion cult."
Maybe if it was like 20 years ago, that would catch on.
Yeah, but nowadays, like, who's actually believing that Scientology is a real thing when, like, everyone knows it's a bunch of bullshit?
Exactly.
Like, everybody knows that. If you're not in Scientology, you know that. But if you're in Scientology, like, you're very isolated and you think the world is worshiping you, but everyone thinks you're a joke.
Right. It's like being in North Korea.
I'm sorry for people who are stuck in it. Like,
it's like being in North Korea.
Yeah.
You think you won the World Cup. You didn't even compete, but you think that you crushed, right? You think you've won every Olympics for the last, like, 30, 40 Olympics.
And they're not even competing.
Nope. They're not
allowed. Because they
don't
have to compete because they're that great.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they're too good. They're outlawed because they're just too dadgum good.
So, welcome to the Zeitgeist Podcast. My name is Nick.
My name is Greg.
Speaking of religion.
Okay.
Today, we're discussing two pieces of technology. Two pieces of technology that is being held secret within the Vatican.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, these ones are interesting because, like, for those who don't know, and Catholic Catholicism, Christian Catholicism, the Vatican, the Pope, it's a big. They're a big deal. Mm-hmm. They're a big deal. They've influenced a lot of the world's events. They are scary. They have a lot of secrets. So if we know, like, the Vatican is basically like the Washington D.C. of Christianity.
Well,
in a weird
Roman
way.
Catholicism.
Roman Catholicism.
Technically, there's Protestantism, there's Catholicism, and there's Eastern Orthodoxy, and there's a couple smaller ones like Coptic and whatever. But like only Catholics recognize the Pope. Eastern Orthodox and Protestants do not.
Okay.
So 2/3 of them don't, but the one that does is the largest group.
Right.
I believe, and I have to look at the numbers, but I believe in the Christian sphere, one of the denominations, Catholics outnumber almost everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they've been the longest around, so it makes sense.
Well, that's the funny thing. Every single denomination has claims that they originated with the first church, right? So
is that why there's so many First Baptists?
Yeah, exactly. But no, but yeah. Like in Catholicism, they would say that, Peter was the first pope, right? But in Eastern Orthodoxy, they would trace it to Paul, right?
Okay. You know more than I do, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, church history.
I forgot it all.
Yeah. I read a lot too, and Protestantism split from Catholicism directly, but it was because Catholicism had split from the early church, and they wanted to recapture what the early church believed, right? Which actually, you may talk about it, I don't know, but the de Medici family is the reason why the Protestants split off from the Catholic Church in the first place.
Right. Well, I'm not covering anything like specifically about the church. I'm just about what...
You don't want to hit up that Renaissance history, bro?
Oh, my God.
Come on.
I mean, that... You can do history because like this. I'm here for the goofy shit that doesn't exist.
You're here for the aliens and the national treasure type stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this one struck me because if you know anything about the Vatican, is that they have a lot of secrets.
Yes,
and I'm touching
true.
on two of those secrets specifically, not on the church on Catholicism in itself, but what these inventions do and why the church. One has a lot of fucking money.
Oh my god!
And have a lot of worldly influence, like a lot.
Like a lot.
Like they are everywhere. So they have a lot of power. So if something is coming, if there's certain technologies or certain discoveries made that might conflict with their organized like influence of the world, they're going to do something about it, or they're going to make it go away. So there's a famous the Vatican catacombs. Is a very famous thing. Not the French catacombs.
Not the ones in Paris.
No, not the Paris ones. But the Vatican also has catacombs, also filled with a lot of dead people. But
right, or else they wouldn't be catacombs. You know?
Exactly. But they also contain a lot of like historical writing, or they contain a lot of different, very much like secret texts and technologies, and just a lot of information about just stuff that they deem that needs to be kept secret. Or they think would like damage. I don't know. They have a lot of weird secrets and a lot of like hush hush stuff, and which is weird. But I'm going to touch on two of those, and one of them is a little more known than the other one. The second one, they both involve cameras in a way.
Interesting. Okay.
So the first one is a lot more well documented. It's called the Chronovision. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of Kodachrome.
What? I don't know what that is.
It's camera.
I've heard of Kodak.
Yeah, exactly.
Canon? It's Canon.
No, but it was called a what? I'm sorry. I was just making a dumb joke.
Chromavision.
Chromavision.
Chronovision.
Chronovision. Wait. Like Chronos, like time?
Yep.
They can see through time?
Dude, you called it.
It's Latin.
Yeah, Chronovision.
My mom used to be a Latin teacher.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she was your Latin teacher, actually.
Yeah, I know. I didn't do well. She helped me out.
Wait, no, is Kronos Greek? I don't know, dude. I'm all over the place.
I only have very few notes on this one, but it is... So what this device is that it was believed by certain scientists, and this is the early 1900s, so not 20th century, so not super long time ago. It was just... There was a priest that worked with the Vatican, and he worked like within the catacombs, like, and he was digitizing and recording and kind of like preserving very old, like earliest recordings, like gramophone early recordings of Gregorian chants for like archival purposes. Like that,
right.
He was just like listening to him, and all of a sudden, over the radio, I forget his name, but the priest hears the voice of his father. And so being a very spiritual man, he's thinking this is a sign from God. Like maybe, and his dad, this is an older priest, his dad's long passed away.
Dead, yeah.
But he doesn't hear like a message. He just hears his dad like having a normal conversation and getting kind of into a heated discussion about the price of shoe polish because his dad was a cobbler. And so it was like a normal everyday conversation. So he's like, okay, well, I don't see this as a sign from God. This might be more scientific. And believe it or not, as much as you might not think that like science and like religion kind of like butt heads, Catholicism really has funded a crap ton of most of like the science, like the Enlightenment era. They were all Catholic. A lot of the church, while a lot of like big ideas like Galileo and stuff was seen as like blasphemy, but like they would look into a lot of this stuff to make sure it proved like the existence of God. Like they would look into science, and
they have a vested interest in.
They want to make
if
sure
we can prove scientifically a miracle happened.
Exactly.
Then like everybody's like, oh yeah,
well,
that really was. Then like you were right.
Yeah,
you know.
So I mean, and there's things where like they've been iffy on a lot of stuff throughout history, but especially in like the 20th, 19th, and 21st century, they had a lot of influence over science, like a lot, and they've invested a lot. They even have a lot of like observatories, like in America. The Vatican does. Weirdly, they have one in Arizona.
That is interesting. Actually,
apparently, I did learn
Arizona's a good place to look at the like sky and stuff.
That's why they put it there, because they had two in Italy, but the area kept getting so populated and foggy that they couldn't see, so they put one in Arizona, and it actually keeps accurate dates of the Gregorian calendar.
Really?
The Gregorian and every type of calendar, this observatory just makes sure that they're still like on the right date.
Oh, that's cool. Actually,
like they are funded by This observatory is like the grunt work observatory. Like they make sure like everything's where it's supposed to be in the sky. Like okay, sun, the moon, the time. They get all like that basic information. So, but they're like, okay, we got to keep this up to date because they rely on us.
If they have chronovision, the date and time is
this priest,
nebulous.
This priest, like, I want to study this sound I heard. So he gets in contact with the higher ups in the Vatican. Like, all right, let's look into this. Who do they hire? Fermi.
Who was that? I'm sorry.
He also assisted Oppenheimer.
I didn't see the movie.
So the Fermi paradox, like there has to be aliens out there somewhere, given how big the world is.
That guy. Yep.
That guy.
Okay, gotcha.
So he helped design this invention. So they came to the understanding that energy cannot be, as we talked about in my last episode, that it can't be destroyed it can only be manipulated into something else. Mm-hmm. So light, sound, and all these energies, they don't just disappear. They linger. Mm-hmm. And they found a way to detect them. Oh. So they are able to find these frequencies and actually establish and recreate that point in time anytime they want, as far back as they want. Rewatch historical events, relive any time and place they want.
That is so damn cool. I cannot tell you how badly I want to do this.
I know, right? So, it sounds like a bunch of hoopla, right?
Hoopla!
So, this information was released to the public in the 1930s. They said,
Sorry, what?
They said a way to view the past is possible. They were reporting on this, saying that this technology was up and coming, that there's a way to do it. And then poof, it's gone. All the news articles, there's one surviving news article, and it's just gone, erased.
It's like cold fusion.
Yeah.
Very similar. They have the technology, somebody's done it, it's coming soon, poof.
Poof. But why? Because this priest left the church because they hid it away, and he said, because what did they do? They went back and watched Jesus on the cross.
Really?
And they took pictures.
Oh, you can actually like take a screenshot through Chronovision of whatever.
Well, like they took a camera to the screen and like took a picture of it.
I see what you mean.
Do you want to see the pictures?
You're telling me you have pictures?
There's pictures.
I do want to see the pictures. Yeah, are you kidding me?
Yeah, here we go.
Now, I'm going to say, I'm going to take it with a massive grain of salt.
Yes, do that.
But I do want to see the pictures.
Picture 1, Jesus walking with his disciples.
That's pretty dang cool.
All right, there's one more.
Yeah.
Jesus on the cross.
And they got a close-up. They were like...
Well, they can do any point in time, anywhere, any way.
So you can get angles.
Yeah, that was my first thought, too. It's like, how do they, like, recreate the scene? But, like, if they give the coordinates, like, wherever that point in time is, whatever was in that vicinity is recreated. So, like, we're at this point, this area.
And that's what makes me, like... Because that calls into question a couple of things, right? Because one, this is something that I think we've talked about before. What we see is by and large in our brains.
Right.
What we see may objectively exist, but if we were to see something a certain way, it's because the light reflecting off of the object in front of us, in this case, me looking at you,
Right.
is being basically processed by my brain, right? It hits my eyes, hits my corneas, and I've got rods and cones to determine what color is being hit back at me with the wavelength of light, right? And so how much can we prove of, like, if there's nobody to witness it, like, what did it really look like?
Like a tree falls in the forest kind of thing.
Like a tree falls in the forest. So that does call into question of, like, if you can't look through somebody's actual
What does
perspective,
it look like?
what would it look like, you know?
That
I don't know.
That is interesting.
I don't know, dude.
Oh, well, look, I did end up opening Twitter. This person gave more context to these photos. So it said, the Vatican conspiracy is simplified as this. The Chronovision was an apparatus that was designed and invented by Fermi and Werner von Braun for Pope Pius.
Werner von Braun, really?
Yeah,
okay,
Werner
I know
von
that
Braun.
name. Wow.
For Pope Pius the 11th. And also, it allowed them to view any point in human history, including, if not limited to, the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. So, I'll say this right now: these photos were debunked.
I
as
had a
being
feeling.
faked.
I had a feeling.
The first picture of Jesus and his disciples is actually a Renaissance painting that was photographed and manipulated. The second one was a sculpture in a Brazilian church, I believe.
Oh, interesting.
And
Brazilians are very Catholic.
And two, I would say these all depict Jesus as a white man. Jesus is not a white man.
He looked a little Middle Eastern in that close up of on the cross.
A little bit.
Like the features are there.
Yeah, a little bit. But
I see what you're saying.
So Werner von Braun, I think, said that he saw these pictures and was like, these are real. But like, well, we found the real things. He's like, well, no, because when these photos were taken before these things were done, he's like, well, this painting was done a long time. Like, yeah. So they were debunked.
Right.
But he stood firm saying they were real. So the thing about this Chronovision is that it disappeared. And like, okay, it's a bunch of hooey. After it disappeared, like a year after it was invented, the church, the Vatican, put out a statement saying, any use of this technology will be like, you will be excommunicated from the church if you use this technology.
Why do you need to say that?
If the technology doesn't exist, why put out a statement like that? Why say that? Like, is it just to like prevent people from even trying, like to do anything like that or disprove or find a way?
Right.
Or is it like, hey, this does exist, don't touch it?
I don't know.
It's weird.
That is interesting.
So
that is actually so interesting.
And having that power, being able to accurately view historical events, you could manipulate anything, though. Like, you could know the truth and then just change it.
You could change, like, whatever you take back of it.
Yeah, like, you see, like, oh, Hitler said this, so, but we're going to say it, so he said this, because now we can, like, I don't know. Like, it's just having that influence.
I see the danger. I see the danger of that.
It's like, oh, or if it's at any point in time, like, oh, last week, they had a secret meeting. Let's just use the Chronovision and watch what they said. Learn their secrets.
You know what? That's true. It's actually, like, the ultimate espionage tool.
It's crazy.
No secrets could exist.
Okay, and that's all I know on the Chronovision, but that's not even the craziest thing.
That's fascinating, though.
That one has a lot more, like, years of research. This other theory,
Still Vatican. We're staying with, like...
Still Vatican.
Okay, gotcha.
This is still a Vatican catacomb thing. So imagine, switching tones here. Do you like found footage horror movies? Or like found footage videos? Like... mysterious.
Yeah, I was a fan of Blair Witch Project. Okay. I didn't like Cloverfield so much, but
yeah, I agree. I mean,
it was okay. It just wasn't as well done. But yeah, I mean, I think found footage is like
I love
for a while footage, there. That was like
original Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activity, yeah, like that was like the thing. You know?
Like I like paranormal. I like found footage stuff when it's done right. Like I'm big into ARGs, analog horror, all that kind of stuff. So what if I were to tell you there is a videotape that the Vatican has that is so classified, that is so earth-shattering of the footage on it that it would break your concept of everything you knew about the afterlife?
Are you telling me that they have a videotape with footage of like heaven or hell?
This guy hitting the nail on the head every time.
Well, I mean, you kind of led me to that one.
I know, but yeah, they have video evidence of heaven.
That doesn't make any sense.
Let me read.
Okay, yeah, read it because I want to talk about this.
All I could find about this was one Reddit post from 3 years ago, and there's only a handful of other people talking about it. I cannot find much about it. It's very fresh. It's new.
I see.
Where'd it go? So, this is the story of Robert Golf and the glass camera.
Okay.
It's cool.
That sounds really fun, actually. I would read that as like a book.
So this was reported on back in 1995, apparently, but the articles have been scrubbed and only few snippets remain in The Guardian, LA Times, New York Times, Washington Post, and a few other smaller publications, but they have since been scrubbed.
Interesting.
This person posted on blah, 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 blah. I don't know this subreddit, but it said, I'm looking into the psychic Robert Golf and the glass camera device. The glass camera was a device made by the CIA in cahoots with the Vatican.
Oh. Cahoots, you say?
Cahoots.
There were cahoots happening.
They
cahooted.
This was in relation to Operation Stargate.
Really?
Right. Do you know what Stargate is?
I think we did an episode on it, didn't we?
I touched on it. I brought it up, but I've never done a full Stargate deep dive, I don't think.
Okay. Refresh my memory, but I do remember talking about it.
So Stargate was a very much like a psychic program where they would try to do remote viewing.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah,
yep. I think that was the Time Crystal episode that we did that.
Yeah, I've brought them up a few times. Stargate is like they have a lot of different overlap with a lot of different projects, such as this one. And basically, they invested a lot back in the early 1900s into remote viewing and psychic research. And there's a lot of documentation that have since been released where they do have a device where they do know how to astral project somebody. Anyone can do it. They know how to do it, and they have the technology. Yep.
So wait, is that part of this Reddit thing, or is that like a separate thing? Oh, okay.
It's part of it.
Gotcha.
So these psychics, they were able to train them, use this technology to actually like astral project into like other places on Earth or into other planes of existence, other dimensions. And so,
I see where it's going.
While this research was happening and they had all this evidence, they're like, okay, well, we need a way to record these things. And that's where the glass camera comes in. This recording device was able to record what a person saw during their astral projection. There was one psychic who could astral project the best out of all, Robert Golf.
Ah, the man, the myth.
Hole in one every time.
Yeah, Robert Golf.
Robert Golf.
He was about to project, and he went 4, and
ended up in hell.
yeah, he screwed it up. Shouldn't have made the joke.
So basically, what this thing did is there's no really specification on how this device worked. They think it was made of glass and was able to like basically make a recording of a person's brain, like kind of like recording a dream in a way.
Maybe it had a time crystal in it.
Yeah,
and it was entangled with that person's energy wherever it was.
And basically, he was able to astral project into heaven.
Dude, I would hang out a lot. I'd just come and go and be like, yo, what's up?
Hours of footage.
Really?
Yes. And whenever that was found, that is when the Vatican stepped in and was like, hand it over.
Give it here.
Hand it over.
Don't make this harder than it has to be. Come on.
We can't dox Jesus now. That's his house.
That's his address. Come on now.
123 heaven.
It's a big house.
It's the big yard.
Yeah, with a big yard where you can play football.
Touchdown.
Who wrote that song?
And a big table with lots and lots of food. Yum yum.
Yeah, who wrote that song? I don't even. Oh boy.
Some movements, man.
Yeah, I know. It's just lyrically it blows.
Yeah, raise your hand if you grew up in a youth group in Texas, in America. Come on.
You just doxed yourself again. Dang it. We got to move again.
I got to deplatform myself.
We got to pack it up.
So yeah, I could not find much on this. I saw one other podcast like touch on this like recently, and they were like, hey, we don't know much about this either. So
we're just going to do the exact same thing and let you know we don't know much about this.
There's not like I looked into it. I can't find anything else but like this one post and like maybe like.
Are there any? There's no snippets. There's no nothing. Like we have no visuals or even audio.
I am God.
I mean,
I always think
anybody could record
that. Don't masturbate.
Oh, you can't climb to heaven with your hands full of penis.
Unless I get bit by that spider.
Unless you get that spider.
You says like,
yeah, right.
detach it.
like an ice climber use like an axe. No, that's a meme. There's like a picture of that. It's a meme that was from a website that's like, it's a troll website, but they like make all of these motivational posters about like not masturbating. Did the Vatican just like clear your hard drive?
No, I went I searched. So I forgot about. I just been looking up the glass camera, but I haven't looked up Robert Golf's name. I searched Robert Golf glass camera. First link, CIA.gov document.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that changes.
Summary
that is a lot of
remote
words.
viewing sessions.
That is a lot of words.
Oh, holy crap. Oh, whoa. Oh my, this is very hard to read.
There, a Cliff Notes version of that for the podcast. I wish we had figured this out before we started recording.
Yeah, me too.
That would have been good.
I opened the door, feeling of uncoherent speech on either side of me. I'm in a woody, grassy area. It's manicured on either side, but it's hard to tell. There's some sort of side rails on the path I'm on. But it's beautiful, and it smells of roses. On the porch, there is an ornamental figure or statue. I walk up to the flat-top stones. As they appear on the top deck of the porch, I see a figure on the porch starting to fade in from the darkness of the building, which is darker than the surrounding area. Oh, it's Jesus. That's what it says. Oh, it's Jesus.
Oh, my boy, because I come here all the time, so we hang out in the courtyard.
I hope I get to talk to that son of a bitch.
What?
He owes me what? He owes me $20? What is going on here?
Wait, this is a CIA document?
Yes.
Dude, okay, he is trolling so hard, man.
This is a real document, though. This is on the CIA website. What is happening?
So he probably had these guys convinced, oh, I can do this. Trust me. Let's do a debrief. And he did an official debrief and just made crap up, is what it sounds like. If so, this guy is the ultimate troll. That is so funny. He owes me $20.
What is going on? Oh my God.
What?
Transcript of remote viewing edited for security. For the past few minutes, you have now been studying a photograph of Malcolm Kalp. Move your awareness and join Malcolm and concentrate your attention. I have a feeling I'm floating under... Okay. This is a whole transcript of this guy's going under and this particular thing. I don't know why... Like, I found the actual PDF transcript of this whole...
but what you were seeing wasn't the same, you don't think?
I'm not sure.
That might have been a fake website. I don't know.
No, this is CIA.gov.
I think he said this stuff in the official transcript then.
Okay, well, this is the thing about Project Stargate, which I've looked at before. I don't think that one in particular. I think that might have been a remote viewing session of someone trying to get into heaven again, but
maybe
nothing about the glass camera. I think the main thing I'm trying to highlight is that there is a device that can record remote viewing sessions, and they were able to record heaven in some way, which the glass camera is apparently just a very cool thing to say. There's a lot of companies called glass cameras that are photography studios. Right, of course. So that's why I kind of lumped these two things together.
They're kind of similar. There's the time vision, and then there's the spectral vision.
Yeah, you know? Like finding this is interesting.
You put on your spectacles.
Your spectacles?
Spectacles.
Spectacles.
Yeah, spectacles. Spectral spectacles. Spectacles.
Those exist too.
Oh, really?
I looked that up a long time ago. There's a certain glass, which I think is probably used in this, that can see
Is that not
spirits.
That movie? They Live? Is that not that same movie?
Yeah, that is that.
It's the exact plot.
Yeah, it's pretty much it.
He has these special glasses and he sees things for how they really are.
Yeah, apparently there's a certain, like, this is a thing I looked up years ago, that there is a particular glass called, it's some type of glass that can see what is there, but you can't see. Like, it would show you the reptilians. It would show you what. I just remembered this, so it's a long time ago. I'll have to look into that again. But that's all I've got on the Vatican because I saw these two devices. And the Chronovision has a lot. I keep spitting everywhere. But the Chronovision has a lot more documentation on it. The glass camera in Robert Golf is a lot newer.
I have questions about that
Me
one
too,
for sure. But it's interesting all the same.
I think this remote viewing document I just opened was not that specifically. I think it was just a summary of one remote viewing session they had done.
Maybe so.
Because I think it was about this Malcolm Kelp or whatever they were talking about. I don't know why that was the first one to pop up when I searched Robert Golf. But these are documents on CIA.gov in relation to the Freedom of Information Act. So they're here, and Stargate has been out for years. Like, you can look up all that documentation because like these all took place in the 80s. Holy crap! Like, there's so much here. Like, if it gets into that stuff, maybe I'll look into it and report back because this is a new thing I did not see in my initial research.
But now we have it.
Now I have it.
So we will be the premier podcast on this subject if any of that proves to be like legit.
Well, if anyone out there knows more about Robert Golf and the glass camera and the footage of heaven that has reportedly been recorded, let us know because I'm curious because this caught me by surprise one day like a few weeks ago, and I was very interested, and I can't find much about it, so it's got to be new.
We will get you a P.O. box. You can send us the original tape, and we'll take good care of it. You can trust us.
Yeah, and then if you don't hear from us in 7 days, don't watch the tape. It's the Ring tape again.
Definitely, yeah. Not again.
Speaking of the Ring, did you hear Britney Spears posted just the tape of the Ring on her Instagram? It was like, hey, remember this? This is weird. Ha ha ha. If you don't hear from me in 7 days, and we're like, should we be watching this? Are we all going to die?
I mean, it was just a movie, but why did she do that? That's so weird.
It's Britney, bitch.
Yeah, that's true. Britney Spears is going to come crawling out of your TV.
It's pretty toxic.
Yeah. She's a man-eater. You better watch out.
Oh, God.
No, wait. Man-eater was...
I'm not seeking Amy.
Did she do a song called Man-eater?
Or was that Madonna?
No, Man-eater was Hall & Oates. Womanizer is the one I'm thinking of.
That's it. Madonna? Oh, my God.
No, yeah. Anyway.
That's all I've got. So.
Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Comment below with your thoughts. If you have the tape, I mean, you know where to reach us. And like and stuff. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.